I always believed that when you raise your children with love and honesty, they'd carry those values into their own families. But life doesn't always work that way, and I found that out in the most shocking way possible. My name is Linda, and I'm 63 years old. I've spent my entire life working as a teacher, saving every penny for retirement and for my son, Jacob. Jacob was always my pride and joy. He was the kid who would bring stray dogs home, share his lunch with kids who forgot theirs, and promise me that he'd always look after me when I got older. When he met Lily, I was thrilled at first. Lily was charming and energetic. She had this glow that made you feel like she lit up the whole room. But beneath that glow was something I couldn't quite name. They married quickly. Jacob insisted she was the one, and I didn't want to interfere. After their wedding, they moved into a house not too far from mine. I would visit sometimes, bringing casseroles and fresh flowers, hoping to stay close to them. Jacob started a small marketing agency a couple of years ago. Business was rocky at first, and I helped where I could, paying off some of his credit cards and even co-signing a business loan. I never kept count, because that's what mothers do. Then, about a month ago, Jacob asked me if I could give him $100,000 to save the business. My heart dropped. That amount was almost everything I had saved. I told him I needed time to think, and he got upset. He said things like, "You always promise to support me, and don't you care about my future?" I spent the whole night awake, going over my retirement plans, my mortgage, my small emergency fund. If I gave him that money, I'd be left with almost nothing. I decided to say no. When I told Jacob, he didn't say a word. His face turned pale, and he just left. 2 days later, something unexpected happened. I was at home having my morning tea when I got a call from Lily. Her voice was frantic, trembling. She said Jacob had fainted at work after drinking his morning coffee and was rushed to the hospital. I dropped everything and drove straight there. When I arrived, Lily was pacing in the hallway, her hair a mess, eyes wide with panic. The doctor came out and said Jacob was stable but had ingested something unusual. My head spun. How could this happen? That's when Lily burst into tears and started mumbling things I couldn't make sense of. She kept saying, "It wasn't supposed to go this far. I just wanted to scare him. He promised me." The doctor called the police to investigate since it involved potential poisoning. Under pressure, Lily finally confessed. She had been putting something in Jacob's coffee for weeks. She claimed it was just a supplement to make him more cooperative with her financial plans. She had convinced him to ask me for the $100,000 and had even threatened to leave him if he didn't get it. She wanted the money to pay off her gambling debts and start a side business without Jacob knowing. When Jacob realized what she was doing, he started resisting her, saying he wouldn't ask me for the money again. That's when Lily decided to scare him into obeying her. But she miscalculated. When Jacob woke up, he was disoriented and devastated. He learned about Lily's plan in front of me, the doctor, and 2 police officers. The betrayal crushed him. He kept whispering, "Mom, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I thought she loved me." I held his hand, feeling my heart ache in a way I had never experienced before. I realized that the boy who used to share his lunch with other kids was still there, but he'd been manipulated into a dark corner by someone he loved. The police arrested Lily that day. In the following weeks, Jacob moved back into my house to recover. He went through endless therapy sessions and slowly started to rediscover who he was without Lily's control. I remember one morning, I found him sitting in the kitchen with a cup of plain black coffee. No additives, no supplements. He looked at me and said, "Mom, this tastes like freedom." We both laughed and cried. I never expected to be at this stage of my life rebuilding my son's confidence and trust, but here I am. I don't regret refusing to give that money. In fact, it might have saved his life. Now, Jacob's business is on hold. Instead, he works part-time at a local community center, helping underprivileged teens learn about entrepreneurship. He says it's the most fulfilling thing he's ever done. As for me, I've learned that protecting your savings isn't selfish. It can be an act of love. If I had given him the money, he might still be under Lily's influence, spiraling into debt and emotional ruin. Saying no wasn't just about protecting my retirement. It was about protecting my son from someone who didn't truly love him. Some days, we still sit together in the garden. Jacob sometimes apologizes, still carrying guilt. I always tell him, "You were trying to do the right thing for the wrong reasons. Now you have a second chance." He smiles and thanks me for not giving up on him, even when he didn't see the truth himself. Our bond is stronger than ever. He's slowly finding his way back to himself, and I'm so proud of the man he's becoming. When I look back at all this, I feel a deep gratitude for the strength I found to say no. It wasn't easy. It felt like I was betraying my own child. But sometimes love isn't about always saying yes. I know this chapter isn't over. Jacob still has a long way to go, and so do I. But now, our story is built on trust, not manipulation. And that's worth more than any $100,000. So if you ever find yourself torn between protecting your loved one and enabling them, remember, real love sometimes means making the hardest decisions. That morning when Jacob looked at me with tearful eyes and thanked me for saving him, I finally felt the weight lift. And that, for me, is worth everything.